Welcome to Hilary Emmanuel Ministries, where faith meets power, purity and prosperity, and breakthroughs are born. At Diadem, we equip you with bold prayers, life-transforming teachings, and spiritual strategies to overcome every challenge life throws your way. Join us as we dive into God's Word, experience His presence like never before, and walk in His purpose for our lives. If you're in London, we invite you to fellowship with us in person at Diadem, 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. Don't forget to subscribe now and let's grow in faith together.
We thank the Lord for all that He has been doing for us. We thank the Lord for making us to see this day. The Lord has been so wonderful unto us. Brethren, if you have been in this ministry for some time, you will know that our focus and emphasis in this place is about the destiny of man. The destiny of man. Because this ministry was established for that purpose, to fight for the destiny of man, to recover the stolen destinies, to deliver the damaged and the battered destinies. And that's what we have been doing in this place. So all our fight here is the fight for our destinies. And if we talk about destiny, I believe we have prayed some few prayers in this church about destinies. And we've taught a few things as well about destinies. But one thing with destiny is that you cannot comprehend it all. You cannot understand it all. So we just speak as the Lord gives us understanding, one day at a time. Every revelation He gives us, we go that direction, we deal with it, and as we progress again, He gives us further revelations concerning our destinies. We continue to deal with it. Everything God created, they are all spirit beings. Even those ones that have physical body, like human beings, like trees, animals, and all those things. Yet, we are still spirit beings. In fact, we are more spirit beings than physical beings. So, the spirit aspect of everything that be, like water, for example, is a spirit being. Like so many other, everything on earth, everything in heaven, they are all spirit beings. And so our destinies, the way God created our destinies are spirit beings. They are entities. They don't just exist like that, I have destiny and that's all. No. When you hear that they attack destiny, it is that spirit being they attacked. When you hear that they capture destiny, it's that spirit being they capture. So the spirit being of our destiny is so unique that I'm sure many of us have not seen it before. If you see your real destiny, I'm not talking of the one they attacked, the original version. If you see the original version and they tell you that this is you and this is what you are supposed to be, in fact, you will become very angry. The first question you will ask is, why am I then like this? What happened to me? So, brethren, what we are looking at here today is one of those prayers you need to focus on seriously. Because what we tend to do here today is to pray some prayers that will be able to bring that original destiny back. The real one, the genuine one that God sent from heaven. And that is your real version, the true copy of you. That's the real one. And that's the one the enemies always target. So today, brethren, we are looking at what I call the splendor and awesome majesty of destiny. The splendor and the awesome majesty of destiny. When we talk about destiny, the language has become so used that it has lost its meaning until God opens your eyes to see true, fully what your destiny looks like. When you see it in a vision, when you see it in a dream, you say, so this is what I'm supposed to be. Let's try to understand some of those words, like splendor. Splendor means to be splendid, to be magnificent in appearance, to have great quality. And when you talk about awesome, it means to be excellent, to be extremely impressive. That's awesome. To be full of glory and beauty. And majesty means impressive beauty and stateliness. Now, that is how we are supposed to be. That's what our destiny contains. That's how our destiny should appear. It doesn't matter the nature of your destiny, whether it's the destiny of royalty, whether it's the destiny of warrior, whether it's different other kinds of destiny. The destiny should be very majestic. Look at Genesis 37. Genesis 37, look at verse 5. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. How can dream bring such level of hatred? Dream is so what we just dream and we would dismiss it, isn't it? And we walk away and say it's just a mere dream. But the brethren that had the dream, that listened to his dream, they knew it was not ordinary dream. They knew he saw his destiny. He saw something in the spirit realm. Brethren, when you see your real destiny in the spirit realm, you yourself will be awed. You say, what? So this is what I am. Look at what follows, verse 6. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaf stood round about and made obeisance to my sheaf. Now, when you see this kind of a dream, you wouldn't attach much importance to it, isn't it? You just say one of the, what is sheaves? Ordinary grass that they bind together, falling down, binding down. That doesn't make any meaning. But they quickly understood what it meant. They knew that this is, he saw his destiny. That he saw his destiny, that everybody around him must bow down to him. That's the destiny he saw. And now look at what follow. Look at what follow. Verse 8. And his brethren said unto him, Shalt thou indeed? He did not interpret it. They were the one that interpreted it. He said, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? And shalt thou indeed have dominion? Do you see the interpretation? They knew it immediately. That what God showed Joseph was his destiny. And the destiny means everybody around him must obey him, serve him, bow down to him. And he must have dominion. And they hated him yet the more for his dream and for his word. Verse 9. And he dreamed yet another dream. He had the second dream. And told it his brethren and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told this to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth? He didn't interpret anything. He just told them the dream. And they immediately understood what it meant. Now, the dream has doubled. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall a matter be established. So this case is established now. Heaven was deliberately showing him his destiny. That this is who you are. In case you grow up, in case you continue to grow up and going forward in life, and didn't turn out like this, know that something happened somewhere. Are you following me? Many of us had this kind of dream before. Many of us had glorious dream before about our destinies. Why did God show you that kind of dream so early in life? It's to be able to become a compass, to guide you as you grow up, to make sure that things are falling into place. So that if you grow up and grow old, and that thing did not happen, know that something happened along the line. Verse 11. And his brethren envied him, but his father observed. The father said, knew it. The father was watching the event. He knew that something serious is happening here. The father observed it. Verse 18. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. Do you see what I was talking about? That from the time you had that dream to the time that thing manifests, in between some events will happen. Those events are what you need to fight, brethren. Do you see now conspiracy? They say, let's kill him. Verse 19. And they said, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Verse 20. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit, and we will say some evil beast has devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. So do you see now? On one side, God is saying, this is where I'm taking you to. This is what I've created you to be. On the other side, the enemies are saying, it will not happen. Let's see how it's going to happen. Let's see how it's going to manifest. Let's see how that dream will fulfill. And then the battle has started. So, brethren, you can see that this was how God packaged Joseph and his destiny from heaven. For human beings, household enemies, they attacked the destiny and he landed in slavery, which was opposite of the dream. Because the dream was supposed to be king, isn't it? And slave and king, they are not the same thing. So instead of becoming a king, they turn him to a slave. This is exactly what the enemies of destinies do. They flip the destiny and make the opposite to be happening to that destiny. So they turn him to a slave. So instead of him going gradually and fulfilling it, did not even end there. From there, he landed in the dungeon, in prison. And this is what this ministry was established to achieve. To fight and break those prisons and bring out destinies that are languishing in prisons. Brethren, do you know how many great destinies are in prison? Great destinies. I was reading something this morning on CNN. The one news flashing. They said somebody that was accused of a crime he did not commit spent 45 years in prison. It's now they just discovered he was innocent. Now, where do you start life from again? After 45 years. Do you know how many other people are there like that in the prison? Languishing there for what he did not do. It reminds me of one young man that was in prison here. And they took my book, that legal technical praying. Somebody visited him and gave him that book. And so they prayed that prayer in that prison so with all their life. You know, if you are free, you don't know the value of those things. If you are in prison, all the newspaper, you read them, even the tiny letters under it, because there's no time, nothing you are doing. You will read and read. Everything you see, you want to read. So they read that book and prayed the prayers. He said the first person that brought it, within how many weeks, they released that person. And while going, somebody else collected that book from him. That person too prayed it and they released that one. As he was leaving, another person collected the book. And then prayed again and they released that one. So he said that book now is still in that prison and he's setting people free. So what are we saying in essence, brethren? That is how destinies are locked up everywhere. But do you know the ones that are locked up physically, they are still better. The ones that are locked up spiritually is the worst. Because the person will be free, walking up and down, not knowing what is going on. So you can see, then finally, Joseph landed in the house of Potiphar. And that was where the enemies, they intended to finish the job. I want you to listen very carefully, brethren. Not every destiny that got attacked recovered. Joseph's destiny was attacked. He recovered. More than 99.99999% of destinies that are attacked, they don't recover. They are gone forever. Take note of that. Joseph's case was different because he vehemently refused to sin. If he slept with Potiphar's wife, his destiny would have died as a slave. That would have been the end of that destiny. Listen carefully to me, young ones. Many people are not getting delivered because of somebody they slept with. And except the mercy of God prevails, that destiny is finished for good. Do you take note from those who have been coming for Bible study? The people that attacked the destiny of Joseph, when they got to Egypt, where did they go to look for him? In the house of, because of what? They knew that's where the destiny will finish. That's how they projected it. That's how they planned it. That's how they thought it will go. That the moment he enters there, he will land in the harlot's house since he has no money, he has nothing. And that's where his destiny will end. Because that was what they wanted to destroy, the destiny. And do you know they went there? The first day, 10 of them looked the whole harlot quarters. They didn't find him. Second day, third day, they were not even willing to leave until they came and arrested them there. They were so convinced that his destiny will end in this place. And so they set all those traps that, well, if he goes into Potiphar's house, the wife will do the job. If he goes to harlot's side, they will do the job. Whichever side he goes to, they will finish the job. Do you see that? Just for asking help from the person he interpreted dream to, God added 2 years punishment. Now, if he has fallen to the trap of Potiphar's wife, that will have been the end of that destiny. God will have removed his hand. Many of us that are adults, our destiny will have been so terribly battered. Our enemy wouldn't have so much succeeded if not for the wrong person we slept with. The wrong person. And that was what gave the enemies the foothold. And now, The rest is battle. The rest is battle. Sometimes, brethren, destiny of man is so complex, the way God framed them. Sometimes, you just have to leave the destiny to pay the full price in order to earn the full glory. Look at Prophet Elijah. What is wrong, brethren, that they want to kill you and you run away? What is wrong in that? And God said, no, you are not supposed to run away. You are supposed to stay and let them chop off your head because that's your destiny. He escaped, he convinced, he prevailed against them. They took him away. They still sent him back again. Say, you must go and put your head down. That's the nature of destiny. So that he can now fulfill that destiny and enter into glory. Joseph paid the full price for his destiny. And after paying the full price, look at now the splendor. Look at now the glory, the majesty. Look at the greatness of the destiny. The Bible didn't give us those details. Thank God we have access to the book of Joshua. And it was the book of Joshua that gave us the insight of what it looked like. Even Joseph himself that had a dream didn't know, because you can't fashion it out how it's going to look like. The question I was asking myself is this: why did Pharaoh do all those things to Joseph? Somebody was his deputy before now. Why didn't Pharaoh do that to that person and exalt that person so much? Why did he do it peculiarly to Joseph? Because that is the destiny. Now look at how when the brethren, when Judah and all of them visited and they saw Joseph, they didn't know who he was. When they came back and Judah was telling their father, the person they met, I think around that time, Joseph will be around 38, 39 or 40 years old. Look at how Judah described him. I will read from the book of Joshua, chapter 52. I will start from verse 11b, from part B of verse 11. He says, "For the king of Egypt is a strong and mighty king." That's how Judah was describing him. For Judah to describe somebody as strong and mighty. "And behold, if we shall go to him without our brother, we shall all be put to death." Now say verse 12. Verse 12. He said, he was telling, when you come back from a journey and you just want to narrate what you saw, he was telling their father Jacob, he said, "Dost thou not know, and hast thou not heard, that this king," he's not talking about Pharaoh. He said, "This one we met, this young man we met, this king, is very powerful and wise." That was not how Joseph was at home. That was not the Joseph at home. "And there is not like unto him in all the earth. Behold, we have seen all the kings of the earth, and we have not seen one like that king. The king of Egypt, surely among all the kings of the earth, there is none greater than Abimelech, king of the Philistines. Yet the king of Egypt is greater and mightier than he." Abimelech can only be compared to one of his officers. Do you see the splendor? Do you see the glory? Look at verse 13. He said, "Father," he was just telling the father everything they saw. He said, "Father, thou hast not seen his palace. You have not seen his throne. And all his servants standing before him. Thou hast not seen that king upon his throne in his pomp." That wasn't the Joseph that left home. This is now the destiny that he was telling them about in the dream. This is it. In his full glory. He said, "You have not seen his pomp and royal appearance, dressed in his kingly robes with a large golden crown upon his head. Thou hast not seen the honor and glory which God has put upon him. For there is not like unto him in all the earth." Do you see the destiny? Now the destiny has blossomed. The destiny is at the peak. It's at the peak, like full moon. This is at the stage now. The destiny has gone through all the tests and passed all the exams. And now it's at this full splendor. Look at what follows. Verse 14. "Father, thou hast not seen the wisdom, the understanding, and the knowledge which God has given in his heart, nor had..." Brethren, do you see that even the voice changed? Even the voice changed. So it's not the voice of the Joseph that left home. Because if it was the voice, they would have known him by the voice. Your destiny has its own voice, brethren. Not this one you are speaking now. Your real destiny has its own voice. And that voice is not ordinary voice. It's full of glory and power. Judah was saying, he said, Father, you've not heard his sweet voice when he spake unto us. Verse 15, we know not, Father, who made him acquainted with our names and all that befell us. Yet he asked after this, saying, is your father still living, and is he well with him? Verse 16, thou hast not seen the affairs of the government of Egypt regulated by him, without inquiring of Pharaoh his lord. Thou hast not seen the awe and fear which he impressed upon all the Egyptians. Do you see full glory of a destiny? It's different from who you used to be before. Completely different. It's not that you. This is now the real you from heaven. And you can see the people that, this was Judah just narrating what he saw. So this Joseph that Judah was describing here was the Joseph that Joseph himself saw in the dream. This is the one. That one everybody was bowing down to. This is the real Joseph now. The other Joseph was a slave. But this new Joseph has swallowed up that other Joseph. That's how destiny operates. When your real destiny appears, it will swallow this your present you now. This your present you will disappear completely. Then that one will replace it. You can see that Joseph was glorified and radiating in majestic splendor. And do you think, brethren, that after he revealed himself to his brothers, I was thinking of this, after he made himself known to his brother, do you think they will continue and say, oh, we didn't even know it was you. Let's go back to how we used to be before. That's impossible. This is a different era now. Things have changed. You are now dealing with the real destiny now. And that real destiny, you can't reverse it back. You can't demote it. You can't put it back again. Go and get me water, you small boy. Nothing like that anymore. Anytime you come, you must bow down. And if you want to talk, you say, my Lord. Because he's now in the fullness of his destiny. Do you see how destiny look like? Do you see how they appear? Do you see their color? And look at Matthew 24. Matthew 24. Look at verse 30. This is the Lord Jesus. And the Lord, you know, when the Lord came, everybody that knew him, especially in his village, when he get there, they say, is that the carpenter's son? They will call the name of all his family complete. And sometimes he will enter some people's house. And they have to just manage. They will give him bread to eat. He'll be so hungry. And then they have to do a lot of things. Sometimes he will enter, they will not care for them, they will not do it. And a woman came and then ministered to him, and he was saying that, when I came here, nobody gave me water to wash my dirty feet. So that is the way he lived. Walking on foot for how many kilometers? Dusty, hungry, and all those things. That was then. Look at what he said in verse 30. He said, but when I enter my destiny, when I enter the splendor, the glory, the majesty of my destiny, he said, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth, he said, just beholding him alone. He said the whole earth, every tribe on earth will begin to scream. Have you seen when Michael Jackson passed by? And all these flimsy girls will begin to cry. He said the whole earth, the whole families of the earth will mourn, just seeing his glory alone. Everybody will burst into tears. And they shall see, look at him, they shall see the Son of Man coming in the cloud of heaven with what? With power and glory. A lot of people now will call his name anyhow. We don't believe in him. Some say prophet, some say it's not a prophet, son of God, not son of all those kind of things. Say, but that day, when we will see him in his real destiny, say the whole earth will mourn. Look at Luke 24. Luke 24 verse 1. Now, upon the first day of the week, because after all those things, Jesus paid the price. Don't forget the price. So destinies don't come by themselves. There's a price to pay. Always understand that there's a price to pay to manifest your destiny. So Jesus suffered all those things, was crucified, died, and so on. Now he has paid the full price. Look at what followed. Now, upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them. And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulchre. And they entered in and found not the body of the Lord Jesus. And it came to pass, as they were much perplexed thereabout, behold, two men stood by them in shining garments. And as they were afraid and bowed down their faces to the earth, they said unto them, Why seek ye the living among the dead? He is not here, but is risen. Remember how he spake unto you when he was yet in Galilee, saying, The Son of Man must be delivered into the hand of the sinful men and be crucified, and the third day rise again. Verse 13. And behold, two of them went that same day to a village called Emmaus, which was from Jerusalem about 60 furlongs. And they talked together of all these things which has happened. And it came to pass that while they communed together and reasoned, Jesus himself drew near. Jesus drew near, joined them as they were going, and went with them, verse 16. But their eyes were holding that they should not know him. Do you see the difference between glorified destiny and raw destiny? After all, they have been with him since. They were apostles, they were disciples with him. And now they can't recognize him again. Why is it that just within 12 years, thereabout, Joseph transformed to the point that the brothers couldn't recognize him again? I'm sure some of you that left home maybe now 20 years, 30 years, apart from your jaw that has shifted, if you go home, they will still recognize you. They should still be able to recognize you, isn't it? So, but for that transformation, the kind of transformation that they didn't even recognize him anymore, not even the voice. These people were with the Lord Jesus Christ just about last week. He just rose up just 3 days after his death. And now, they can't recognize him anymore. Why? He's now in his full glory of his destiny. That destiny will transform you. It will change your physical appearance. Change everything about you. And that's that change the enemies don't want. Look at what follows. Verse 17. And he said unto them, What manner of communication are these that ye have one to another, as ye walk and are sad? And the one of them, whose name was Cleopas, answering said unto him, Art thou only a stranger in Jerusalem, and hast not known the thing which has come to pass in these days? 19. And he said unto them, What things? And they said unto him, Concerning Jesus of Nazareth, which was a prophet mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him to be condemned to death, and have crucified him. Verse 25. Then he said unto them, O fools, and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Ought not Christ to have suffered these things and to enter into his what? His glory, his full destiny. Verse 30. And it came to pass as he sat at meat with them, he took bread and blessed it and brake and gave it to them. And their eyes opened. And they knew him, and he vanished out of their sight. And they said one to another, Did not our heart burn within us? They will be suspecting something, but they will not be able to put their finger. You remember what happened with Simeon? When Manasseh, the son of Joseph, came and confronted him and did what? And was able to bring him to the ground and bound him. He said, Don't think that this is an Egyptian. He said, This is not an Egyptian boy. This person must be for my father. So that's what this apostle has. They say, we said it. Our heart was burning when this man was talking to us. So you now see how destiny operates, how destiny look like. Look at verse 36. And as they thus spake, Jesus himself stood in the midst of them and said unto them, this was the whole assembly now, the whole apostles, all of them, as they were talking, Jesus appeared in their midst and said, Peace be unto you. Verse 37, but they were terrified and affrighted and supposed that they have seen a spirit. This was somebody, all of you were together last week. You were eating and drinking together last week. You have been with this man over 3 years, coming from Galilee, from his child. You know him very well. Now, suddenly, they can't recognize him again because he has entered the glory of his destiny. When you enter the glory of your destiny and you are in the peak of it, this is not how you are going to be anymore. Verse 38, and he said unto them, Why are you troubled? And why do thoughts arise in your hearts? Behold, my hands and my feet, that is myself. Because they didn't know him again. He said, Look at my hand, look at the hole, look at the nail print. It is me. Handle me and see, for a spirit has not flesh and bones, as ye see me have. Verse 40, and when he has thus spoken, he showed them his hand and his feet. And while they yet believed not for joy and wonder, he said unto them, Have you here any bread, any meat, so that he will eat in their presence? So you see that they didn't know him again. The Jesus that they have been going up and down with is no longer this Jesus. No wonder. The Bible says that God has exalted him and given him a name that's above every other name. So you now see, brethren, that when you enter into your glory, you become unrecognizable. When your full destiny manifests in his majesty, this is not going to be this same you anymore. Look at Revelation chapter 1. Because the apostles, they were still alive. And Jesus was still coming to them. Look at this one. The other one, he came and said, peace be unto you. He didn't even come in his real glory. He didn't even come to them in his full glory. Look at this one here. Revelation 1 verse 7. He said, behold, he cometh with cloud. That thing we read earlier in Matthew 24. He cometh with cloud, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Verse 8. He said, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, and which is to come, the Almighty. Verse 9. I, John, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation and the kingdom of patience of Jesus Christ, was in the isle that is called Patmos for the word of God and for the testimony of Jesus Christ. I was in the spirit on the Lord's day and heard behind me. He said, I was just in the spirit praying. I heard something behind me. What did he hear? And how did the voice sound? Was it how Jesus was talking? You remember what Judas said about Joseph? His sweet voice. He said the voice changed. So the voice of Jesus has changed. It's now sounding like trumpet. Like trumpet. Now look at what he's saying. I am Alpha and Omega, verse 12. And I turned. You know, he would say he was behind him. So he wanted to see who was talking to him. He says, so I turned to see the voice that spake with me. And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and hair were like white wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn it in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So the voice will sound like trumpet and sound like when water waves. He said like sound of many waters. Verse 16. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp two-edged sword. And his countenance, his appearance, was as the sun shineth in his strength. Do you see the destiny now? This is the destiny that Jesus paid for, while he laid down his life to be like this. Verse 17. And when I saw him, I jumped and hugged him. I fell at his feet. He collapsed and fainted. Who was saying this? John the Beloved, isn't it? Do you know the relationship between John and Jesus? Do you know? Good. Why didn't he go and put head again now? Okay. Why did he say, Lord, my friend is you. I've missed you. I want to put my head again on your laps. He fainted. The destiny will change you completely. Completely. You are not going to be this person anymore. People who knew you before will have respect unto you. Do you see? Look at, Jesus has to revive him. He laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, fear not, I am the first and the last. I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. I have the keys of hell and of death. Jesus has to raise him up again. And he had to stand at a distance and be taking note. No longer, Lord, what are we going to eat today? Lord, all those kind of, no. Level has changed. Your destiny will put you in a realm that is far above every other realm. Even you yourself will look at yourself and say, how did I get here? It's the destiny. And unfortunately, growing up in life, we don't see the destiny. We don't see this kind of majesty in ourselves. And it's only the enemies that see them. The eyes of darkness, they call it in Yoruba language, Ariogokiologotori. That is those who see people's glory before the owner of the glory will see it. The moment they gave birth to a child and they hold the child like this, they will tell you everything the child is going to become. They will see the greatness already. They will see the glory already. And that's where the trouble will always start from. But thank God we are in the right place. Thank God the Lord is showing us all these things. The enemies have done what they have to do. They've attacked, but the Lord will deliver. So you can see how Jesus transformed, unrecognizable anymore. Even to those who were with him, who were so close. Even Peter, they couldn't recognize him. Remember when he went to meet them where Peter said, I go a fishing. And it was when he was telling them, throw your net to this. Peter said, this is the Lord. Otherwise, they wouldn't know it was him. He are so completely transformed. And the only person he appeared to in his real glory is John. If he appear like this to all the other rest, they will die, they will not come back. Because there are some destinies that are killer destinies too. Do you know your destiny? There are people that are not compatible with your destiny. Your destiny must kill them. We've talked a lot about destinies in this church. I was showing one video that went viral last week or so of this Holland lady riding motorcycle around the whole world and just entered from Benin Republic to Nigeria on her motorcycle. Just to ride from that place to Abuja, got to a police checkpoint, met these two policemen. And one of them said, what do you bring for us? Give me money. And she has camera because she's recording all her journey. She has millions of followers, people that view her this thing. That thing, immediately. This was less than 2 minutes encounter. Less than 2 minutes encounter. The video went viral immediately, over 5 million views. The Inspector General of Police ordered for those two policemen to be dismissed immediately. You can see the destiny of that lady just came across them. Just 2 minutes encounter, and he instantly stripped them naked. Instantly removed them, because the way they dismissed them, they first pronounced their dismissal, and then they removed the police uniform they are wearing, leaving only singlet with them. So he stripped them. And all the bloggers that have no content since after the election, now they have content, they have enough things to talk about. So you now see, the lady has not even left Nigeria before all these things started happening. So you can see how destinies operate. How destinies operate. Destiny, sometimes there are people they cannot compare to, they cannot meet, they must not come across. Do you know how many people your own destiny have killed? You can't understand. Let's close our eyes. Let's begin to tell the Lord and say, my God and my Father, where I failed the exam of destiny and I committed the sin that I shouldn't have ever committed.
Thank you for watching. If this message blessed you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to join our growing community of faith. You've just listened to the sermon, but there are powerful prayers that follow. Due to social media rules and guidelines, the prayers have been removed from this video. However, you can access the full prayers and more life-changing resources by visiting www.pastorhillary.org or downloading our app, Diadem Media. If you're in the London area, we'd love to have you fellowship with us in person at 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. If you have any questions about this message, want counseling from Pastor Hillary, or wish to share your testimonies following the prayers, please leave a comment below and someone from our team will get in touch. Until next time, may God bless you abundantly and guide you in all your ways. Stay victorious.